YouTube, what is good? Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, you don't know that I've been messing around with this Fujifilm X-Pro3 camera for a few weeks now. It is a pretty interesting piece of camera equipment, especially because it's the camera with no back screen. You gotta flip the screen down to see, and yeah. I'm getting acquainted with this thing. I'm gonna put my final review on it out probably sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch that video. But today I'm gonna show you all the photos I made while I was testing this camera, doing what it's designed for, which is street photography. The whole reason the screen is hidden is so when you're out in the street, you're making photos, you're not distracted by checking your screen, you're not looking down the whole time, you're just in the moment, flow state, making photos. And spoiler alert, I was skeptical of that, but this camera actually kind of does that. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you all the photos I made with this when I was out doing street photography, the good and the bad. There are some very bad ones in there. I did skip over a couple. You'll see me make some photos and not show anything. Trust me, it's not worth your time. It's pointless. But yeah, this thing is interesting, and tonight's photo conditions are really gonna push the limits on this camera and give me a good idea about how I feel about it for the review I'm gonna post next week. This was a really important test to give me an idea of if I would want to buy this thing or not. So we're making photos at night and rainy conditions, which are some of my favorites, and if this can handle that, it can handle pretty much anything. So let's jump into this behind the scenes real quick. Before we get going on that, I want to thank our sponsor today, Squarespace. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Today is January 9th. That means it's not too late for you to finally start selling prints online, to set up that portfolio website you've always talked about, or start booking clients through a website, or just making yourself look more professional. And you can do all this with Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start a free trial and use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace is what I use to build my website, evanranft.com, and I do all those things I just described on that site, and you can too. It took me one day to build my site initially, and then I started adding things along the way as I needed them. If you ever have any questions, you can talk to their award-winning customer service. If you're watching this video right now thinking this is the year you're finally going to start taking your photography serious, your business serious, anything that you're working on to the next level, one of the easiest things you can do is build a website. And Squarespace makes it ultra affordable with plans starting as low as $12 a month. So you have no excuse to get started today. Head over to squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start that free trial and use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. Let's build in this new year together. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. And here we go, X-Pro in hand. It is basically the end of blue hour, so we do have a little bit of light in the sky, a lot of water on the ground, a little bit of rain coming down, not too bad. I'm obsessed with puddles in this episode for some reason. As you can see, it doesn't work out too great, but I'm also going to experiment a lot with this flip out screen. When I bring the X-Pro up to my eye, it disappears in the GoPro view, so a lot of it's going to be shot in live view, even though I normally wouldn't use it, just so y'all can see. Down here we got some light on the ground, it looks solid. We got a bike coming through our frame. Kind of mistimed this. It would have been better for them to be off on the left. All good though. Y'all know how it goes. We got to warm up a little bit anytime we get out to shoot, to get some warm up shots going. It's another warm up right there. This one I made without looking. No screen, no look. Came out okay. Probably would have been better for me to actually look through the viewfinder to frame it up. Kind of like this scene right here. It's mysterious. Would have been cool if someone was walking through it or something like that. That green light looks nice. But that photo, not so nice. In hindsight, I should have hung around this intersection a little more. There were a lot of people crossing in and out right here. It was probably the most busy area of the city we were at during this behind the scenes, and I made good use of it coming up right here. So at 50mm, we're pretty far back on this one, but I was able to crop in and remove the word room to where you couldn't exactly read it. Love that silhouette on that last one. Don't don't know how I felt about my moral obligation on that last photo. Like, I don't want to be making a photo of someone's window, but it looked kind of cool. There was potential there, just didn't know how to work with it. I like this spackling a lot. It's really lit. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna have to come back here though and try something with it. Tonight wasn't the night for it. I didn't feel like standing around. This whole light thing right here was crazy. I was trying to do something with these lights, or excuse me, but the rain on that glass right there. Couldn't exactly figure out what to do with this when it comes to street photography, but for something like portraits, that might be money or something that I come back to in the future. Gonna save that one in the Rolodex in my head. This right here though, fire. This is it. This is one of the best shots on the night. Got lucky too. I was just looking off to my left. That guy was over there doing his thing. Made that photo. Made this one from another angle. Not as good. Definitely off. Could have been better. And just like that, an hour of photography with the X-Pro3 in the books. All right. The X-Pro3 for street photography. We're gonna talk about this more in the final review that I post next week, but I was skeptical. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it's designed to make you kind of focus on what you're doing, get in that flow state, and I was in this video. I think I might have looked down at the screen maybe one time. It was when I was at a stoplight. I went through to check a few things, just see how everything was going, because obviously I'm making a video for y'all. I think if I was just out making photos for fun and I didn't have this whole YouTube component, I don't think I ever would have checked any of the photos until I got home. It's a weird psychological thing. The screen being hidden, it makes you not want to look at it. It's just this right here, this little step of pulling it down to look. I don't know, it's annoying enough to where you don't want to do it and you just focus on making photos and kind of getting in the zone and flowing, which I really enjoyed. The best photo on the day, hands down, the cleanest, the crispest, was that photo where the silhouette is walking through the O shape. It says rooms, so I cropped it in because I didn't want room to be the main word in the photo. Unfortunately, you can still kind of read it. I would have loved to crop it in tighter, but I don't know, it didn't really work. I would need a little bit longer of a lens to do that. The second best photo was that one of the bar with all the lights. The colors there are crazy, the lights are crazy. I messed it up slightly. If you watch the behind the scenes, you see I'm just walking and notice really quick. I would have switched my exposure compensation down just a little bit on that so my shutter speed would go up, so it would be a little bit more crisp. There's a little bit of shake in that image. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it could have been just a little bit better. But I love the colors on that one. It came out nice. So as for the X-Pro3, we're kind of doing two things in this video. For street photography, I love it. I already mentioned why. For night photography, it's still not my favorite camera to use, and I'm gonna talk more about this in the final review that I put out on this channel. It's not exactly my favorite, but I will say it's an improvement compared to the X-Pro2. The focusing is a little bit better. I didn't really have any instances where I back focused or something missed, even in dark conditions, which I liked a lot. And the quality seemed a little bit better. In the past, I've had issues pushing the ISO on this to like 3200, but it did good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it all in all. So stay tuned for the final review on this thing. I think I have enough data and I've used it enough to have an idea of what I think on it. I enjoyed it a lot though. This was a fun photo day. Hopefully you can get some inspiration from it and take it out in the streets with y'all. Get out there, make some street photos. Thank you guys for watching.